I taught you how to fight without fear.
And you taught me who I'm willing to fight for.
When the first alien craft fell through Earth's atmosphere, it didn't arrive with fire or conquest. It arrived with silence. The ship tore a scar across the night sky above the Thar Desert, its hull bleeding blue light before vanishing beyond the dunes. By morning, the military would seal the region, satellites would pretend nothing had happened, and rumors would be swallowed by dust. But before all of that, there was a man named Ayan Malik, and a woman who was not human. Ayan lived where the maps faded. He was a tracker by trade, a guide for scientists and lost travelers, raised by a father who taught him how to read wind and shadow. He carried no weapon except a weathered bow he'd carved himself, more habit than defense. When he found the crash site, he expected wreckage and death. Instead, he found her. She stood at the edge of the crater, tall and still, skin like moonlit bronze with faint bioluminescent lines tracing her arms and neck, as if stars had learned the shape of a body. Her eyes were not frightening, just deep.
Old.
She held a curved weapon that shimmered like liquid glass. Ayan raised his hands slowly. "I won't hurt you," he said, not knowing if she could understand. She tilted her head. The desert wind tugged at her silver-white hair. Then, to his shock, she spoke, her voice musical, careful. "I know," she said. "You already decided that." That was how Kael'thera of the Aurelian Reach met the human who would change her fate. Two warriors from different worlds. Kael'thera was a bladesinger, a warrior-scholar race bred not for conquest, but for defense. Her people believed survival was an art, combat was rhythm, and weapons were extensions of intention. She had been hunting a rogue faction through hyperspace when her ship was sabotaged. Earth was never meant to be on her path. Ayan offered water. She studied it, scanned it, then drank with visible relief. "You are alone," she said. "So are you," he replied. Something like a smile touched her lips. They hid in a sandstone ravine while distant aircraft began to circle. Kael'thera explained that if her enemies found her here, Earth would become collateral damage. She needed time to repair a beacon. And she needed help. "You track," she said. "You see what others miss." "I'm not a soldier," Ayan answered. She looked at his bow. "You are a warrior who has not been taught how to fight yet, learning the art of war." They moved deeper into the desert, beyond roads and signals. Kael'thera set traps with elegance Ayan had never seen. Energy snares woven like spider silk, blades that sang when drawn. But when danger came, she noticed his hesitation. "You hold back," she said one evening, as twin moons rose, one real, one reflected in her eyes. "I don't want to become something I can't undo," he said. She considered this. "On my world," she said softly, "we believe violence leaves an echo. That is why we learn to control it, not deny it." The next morning, she handed him a plasma-forged arrowhead and pointed to a distant rock. "Show me." He missed. Again. And again. She corrected his stance, adjusted his breathing, placed her hand over his heart. "Your body fights itself," she whispered. "Be still." When he released the arrow, it struck true, splitting stone. Ayan stared, stunned. She smiled openly this time. "That," she said, "is focus." Teacher and student. Days became weeks. Kael'thera taught him how to fight without rage, how to read movement like music. She showed him energy blades that folded into bracelets, shields formed by will alone. In return, Ayan taught her how to survive on Earth, how to read sandstorms, how to find water where none should exist, how humans fought wars within themselves. They sparred at dawn, laughed at dusk. And somewhere between bruises and shared meals, something changed. One night, as meteor trails painted the sky, Ayan asked, "Do you miss your home?" Kael'thera's voice softened. "Every star does, eventually." She touched his face, not as a warrior, but as a woman uncertain of her own heart. Their first kiss tasted of dust and starlight. Love in the shadow of war. The rogue faction found them. Drones screamed across the dunes, weapons burning the air. Kael'thera moved like a storm, graceful, deadly. Even she was outnumbered. Ion fought beside her, bow blazing with alien energy, fear replaced by clarity. They fought back to back. "You have learned well," she said between strikes. "You taught me," he replied. A blade caught Kael'thera's side.
She fell.
Ion didn't think. He moved. He fought like a man defending not a world, but one person. When the dust settled, the enemies lay silent. Ion knelt beside her, hands shaking. "Stay with me," he begged. Kael'thera smiled faintly. "You aimed at the stars," she whispered. "And you hit your mark." Her wounds healed slowly, aided by her tech. But the truth remained. Her people would come. Earth would never be safe for her. A choice that changed two worlds. The beacon activated at dawn. Aurelian ships shimmered into the sky, beautiful and terrifying. Kael'thera stood before them, armor restored, posture regal. "You could come with me," she said quietly. "My people would protect you." Ion shook his head. "This is my world." She nodded, tears like liquid light in her eyes. "Then I will protect it from afar." They embraced, a promise without certainty. As the ships vanished, Ion felt the desert return to silence. But he was no longer the same man. He trained others, taught them focus, restraint, purpose. Somewhere among the stars, Kael'thera fought her war, carrying Earth in her heart. And sometimes, when Ion looked up at the night sky, he swore one star shone brighter than the rest. A star that had taught him how to fight and how to love.